All right, hey, what's going on there? Anyway, folks, it is, we're past Friday the 13th, right? It is March 16th, 2020, 6:37 p.m. out here, West Coast time, and we're taking a look at the latest information in regards to the coronavirus, which is better known. The official name is called COVID-19, which has made its way around the world and created panic and havoc in the markets and in people's lives and businesses, and it's pretty much put the world on a temporary different track, right? We're just kind of in some uncharted territory here these days that we're living in right now, whether it be just from the fear, which is, having its adverse effects on the stock markets and everyone's thinking, rational thinking, and the virus itself is a big deal as well. We're going to take a look at some numbers worldwide and also more specifically here in the States in a little bit. This is just a little paragraph information kind of summing up the virus itself. The fight against the coronavirus outbreak has disrupted the lives of millions of Americans, worldwide though, with some of its biggest cities closing schools, theaters, bars, and restaurants with the exception of takeout service. President Trump on Monday, which was today, right? Obviously today. What's today? Monday? Yes, it is. Getting behind on my schedule. Said the outbreak could last into the summer, perhaps as long as August. So this is how real, this is how serious the situation has got here, folks. I mean, we're looking at some major changes to our lives from here on out. It may never be the same again. We may never be back on track to how we were. Hopefully we'll get there. But it's definitely going to last for quite some time. And I believe it's going to get worse. In my own words, I believe it's going to get worse before it gets better. You can just go to local stores and see what I mean. And this is the latest updated information for today, Monday, March 16th, 2020. More than 3,800 people have tested positive for the new COVID-19 disease in the U.S., and at least 80 have died. Globally, the death toll was just over 7,100 on Monday, okay? World population, I don't even know what the world population is, how many billions of people, but it's a lot, okay? 7,100 is very minor to the amount of people we have on this earth, but the amount and time that this virus has spread, as rapidly as it spread, is concerning, and that's kind of why we have to get this whole thing under control. And it's not a hoax, folks. I don't believe it's a hoax. Now, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theory stuff, but, was it created to get a hold of population? Was it created to prevent Donald Trump from being reelected? Was it created to, only affect people in China and it got out of hand? Who knows? But the thing is, it's here. And it's here to stay, and we have to deal with it. So death toll globally was 7,100 on Monday, with the weekend seeing an alarming spike in fatalities in 3 European nations grappling with aggressive outbreaks. While more than 181,000 people have caught the virus around the world, almost half have already recovered. Okay, almost half have already recovered, and the vast majority of cases remain mild. Basically, this is affecting the older folks, okay? And I'm not saying they're not important. They are very important, right? I got my mom still on this earth. There's a lot of older folks I know. We want to keep them safe as possible. So that's why we're going to this extreme. That's why the governments are going to this extreme to prevent any, it's already out of control, right? But to prevent any, worldwide population decline. It could get really bad if we don't do nothing about it. It's more or less like a flu. If I were to get it, I'm not young, I'm not old, but I think it give me like similar to the cases of the flu. That's what it would be like for me, and then I'd get over it. But for those with respiratory issues and lung disease and underlying conditions already, it kills them. The older folks, I mean, if they're older or not, if you still have those conditions, those medical conditions, lung disease, any type of respiratory issues, it can affect the young and the old. That's the significance of this disease here, this virus. In a bid to shore up confidence, okay, the world's biggest central banks led by the U.S. Federal Reserve, slashed interest rates over the weekend and announced significant infusions of cash. But those steps failed to stop the sell-off. Shares plummeted as trading resumed. Not going to go into the stock market too much, but it's dropping like a rock, folks. World markets are dropping. The Dow is crashing. Going to lead us into a major recession, I believe, once we're all said and done. Pretty big deal. You got 401k that's stock dependent out there. You probably lost a tremendous amount of revenue from that deal. It's a big deal on the markets out there, folks. Here's a look at the kind of a map area, folks, if you will, of the COVID-19 cases in the United States. Check out California, Washington area along the West Coast. Big time. Looks like the most reported cases as of March 16th, right, which is today, has been in Washington, right? Washington over there. Big time. And also the New York area over there, East Coast, is not immune to it either. California is in there as well, between 201 and 500 reported cases. But Washington's well over the 501 mark, same as New York. Major travel areas, right? Major international airports. I myself flew from Sacramento, California, down to Long Beach last week or the week before, and then Long Beach out to Austin, Texas. And then on my way back, after my week of storm chasing out there in Texas and Arkansas area, I flew back from Austin into San Francisco, and then from San Francisco to Sacramento. Just a short flight there because that's the way the flight worked out. So I've been to the international airports. I came back with a cold. It was just a little bitty cold. It wasn't a virus. I did see people coughing around me in the airplane, with some older folks and whatnot. So not saying they had the virus. I don't have the virus. But the international travel impact is what I'm talking about here. A lot of international travel, a lot of domestic travel where people are sick, coming from these high reported cases area, traveling to states where they could be spreading it left and right. You know, it's I think we're going to see the domestic travel. It's already being affected, but I believe we're going to see it stopped and halted here pretty soon. That is going to take a major, major effect on the stock market as well. I mean, I can't even imagine what by the end of the week it's going to look like. I think we're in for a big time hiccup here in our lives in this lifetime. Unprecedented areas, folks. Looks like, what is that state right there? Hold on a second. I'm very unfamiliar with that state that's kind of sticking out in the white. It's kind of southeast of Ohio. Let's see, what is that little state? Charleston? What? Really? Okay. Hold on a second here. Wow, okay. Anyway, that's one of the states over there, southeast of New York area, or Ohio area, that have not seen any cases. At least according to this map, I see zero, none. There's a couple other states, Idaho, Wyoming, North Dakota, areas that have very minimal reportage, but it's going to spread, folks. It's definitely going to spread. I believe we're roughly about a week or two behind the Italy incidents. Italy's pretty in panic right now, but our numbers are about 2 weeks behind them. They are 2 weeks ahead of us, and I think we're going to be on that track if we don't get some handles on this. I mean, we really need to take this thing pretty serious here. Here's a little bit of information from the let's see which site this was from. Let me double check here. From the cdc.gov website on the coronavirus 2019. If you need to check out this information, verify it there on the cdc.gov website. Just kind of gives you a little bit of information about the coronavirus disease 2019. That's when it started, right? How it spreads, the symptoms, prevention and treatment, stigma and resilience, what to do if you are sick, frequently asked questions. There's a lot of information on this site, folks. I suggest you go check it out if you want some factual information on that from the professionals and whatnot there at the CDC. And it's some really good information there. The spreading is pretty much in general how you would spread a cold, right? Or how you would spread any like respiratory type disease. Sneezing, right? You sneeze on stuff, you sneeze in your hands, then you touch your computer or a gas pump or any door handle, and that stays on, according to a couple sources there that I've seen. It stays on objects or countertops and whatnot for about 3 days. So it's very important that you're always wiping down your items and whatnot wherever you go, just to be safe, on the safe side. Person spread is how they're basically stating this thing. The most likely description of the spread here. The virus is thought to spread mainly from person to person, between people who are in close contact with one another within about 6 feet. That's why the government is trying to put a social distancing culture in our lives right now, right? The American culture is not really antisocial, right? They like gatherings. We like, I don't like football, but a lot of people like football. They go to sporting events, going out to eat, dining, wining, going to the bars. All that stuff is changing, and it has to change. Otherwise, we're going to look at a major death toll if we don't get a hold of that. Through respiratory droplets produced when an infected person coughs or sneezes, right? Just like any common cold, you don't want to be sneezing in somebody's face. I can't stand that when somebody's in a room and they're sneezing out loud, just right into an open room, or on a plane if somebody's sneezing and not covering their mouth with their shirt or at least their elbow to somewhat prevent the droplets from going in the air. Come on, folks. Try to help out a little bit, prevent this. These droplets can land in the mouths and noses of people who are nearby or possibly be inhaled into the lungs. Gross. Okay, that's pretty disgusting. Can someone spread the virus without being sick? People are thought to be most contagious when they are most symptomatic, right? The sickest. Some spread might be possible before people even show symptoms. There has been reports of this occurring with a new coronavirus, but this is not thought to be the main way the virus spreads. Spread from contact with contaminated surfaces or objects. This is where I mentioned about, touching door handles after you sneeze, or even if you're not sick, you're touching a door handle where maybe someone else sneezed and they have that virus, and you go to eat a sandwich without washing your hands, and there you go, you're contaminated too. So very big cleaning culture you have to look into. That's why these gosh darn it, that's why these hand sanitizers, it's like gold right now. I mean, some people are selling those hand sanitizers for like $100 for a little 5-6 ounce on eBay. It's ridiculous, folks. Main thing is just wash your hands. Just always be clean if you can. Hand soap just does as good as well too. You just gotta think proper hygiene out there, folks, no matter what you do, whether you're at home, at work, going out, just kind of think about that stuff whenever you do those things. How easily the virus spreads from person to person can vary. Some viruses are highly contagious, spread easily, like measles, while other viruses do not spread as easily. Another factor is whether the spread is sustained, spreading continually without stopping. The virus that causes COVID-19 seems to be spreading easily and sustainable in the community. Community spread is the word in some affected geographic areas. So community spread, folks. Going out, hanging out with your friends at the bar, maybe going down to Starbucks and drinking some coffee down there in a small small contained area, where there's ventilation, but it's all excuse me, it's all contained ventilation. You breathe in all the same recycled air. It's a pretty big deal, folks. That's why they're kind of just doing drive-through out there. I think in most states, at least here in California, I've seen a couple other states as well, where they've cut out the dining. McDonald's, I think all McDonald's restaurants are now cutting out their in-dining service, so no more sitting at their hard tables and their hard chairs eating your Big Mac and Whopper, or not Whopper, my bad, cheeseburger and chicken nuggets. It's I think it's drive-through and takeout only. Same with Starbucks. Just go through drive-through, order your latte or whatever the heck you want there. No more dining in with your friends, enjoying the sunshine out in their patio. So, kind of a big deal, and that's good though. How it spreads, we talked a little bit about that. There is currently no vaccine to prevent the coronavirus disease. The best way to prevent illness is to avoid being exposed to this virus, right? That's why they're cutting out the social interaction, folks. No more sports, no more sporting events. I'm not a big sports fan, I'll tell you that right now. Never have been, never will be. So that doesn't bug me one bit. Between people who are in close contact with one another within about 6 feet. These droplets can land in the mouth, and we read that. Take steps to protect yourself. Clean your hands often, folks. It's a pretty big deal. Avoid close contact. Stay home if you're sick. Okay. I want to get on to a different page here real quick if I can. Close this out here. We'll talk about the big news stories out there. The big events out here on this page right here. It's a pretty good one. CNN. Not a big CNN fan, but you know what? They're offering some stories, news articles out here in a pretty good fashion that I kind of like out here. Let's see if I can make that just a little bit bigger here. Bear with me. Bear with me here. I thought I had that the right size before this, but that's okay. Just want to make sure this is big enough everyone can read. I'm not going to be reading all of it out here, but I do want to go into a little bit details. Live updates. Coronavirus deaths past 6,500 worldwide, but I think that was 7,100 there on the other site. So that one there is just a little bit behind. Colombia will close borders to slow coronavirus. I mean, that's kind of a big thing, closing the borders, right? But here's where domestic travel takes place. Let me grab a drink real quick. My voice. Normally I don't even talk this much in my earthquake videos, but so yeah, borders, right? Borders stop ground traffic, I guess, but domestic flights, international flights, wherever you're at, that's going to be the main carrier, I believe, right, to countries around the globe. It's a big deal to travel somewhere from a bit highly infected area like California or Washington, and then travel to I don't know, Costa Rica, or your vacation spot somewhere in Mexico, right? Or Australia. It needs to stop. We need to halt all domestic travel and international travel for at least 2 weeks, folks, to get a major handle on it. That's the only way I think this is going to get under control here. So that's what Colombia is talking about there. Let's see here. Hold on a second here. Los Angeles will stop issuing parking tickets for next 2 weeks, mayor says. So very interesting information there, right? That's very interesting. Let me tell you, that's just little minor things. I'm not for sure what's going on with that. Let me see if I can refresh that page, folks. I may just have to read it on this side. I'm not for sure what's going on with my browser thing right now, but I will attempt to fix it. Hold on. Because there's a lot of important stories here, folks, that I kind of want to get into. Let's see if this will help it out a little bit. Yeah, maybe. Let's see if that'll work. Make this a little bit bigger here. There's a new one right there. Malaysia imposes nationwide movement control order. That's interesting there. I mean, everyone's following suit, folks. This is not getting better. It's not going to go away overnight. It's not going to just magically disappear like a unicorn in a fairy tale novel. Did that make sense? I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, folks, big stuff going on here. Let's see if we can go down to the articles, if it will let me. Oh, yes, it will. Okay, good deal. Good deal. So, the Malaysia one, we'll go ahead and skip that for now. The Colombia one, that's a good deal to stop borders. There's the parking tickets, right? Kind of interesting there. Social Security offices will close in-person services starting Tuesday. See, this is all about avoiding social interaction, cutting out social interaction. Look at WWE. Will hold WrestleMania 36 in an empty Orlando arena. I don't know if you guys are Saturday Night or the Tonight Show fans. I only watched this one recently because they had no audience. They were telling jokes, and the band members were laughing at the jokes the host was describing there on the TV. It was pretty odd, let me tell you. So a lot of change going on in our American life, right? Worldwide life, not just America, that's for sure. Let's see what else we got here. The Seattle mayor announces $5 million in grocery vouchers to help families. That's the other thing I read. I read that Mitt Romney wants to give everyone here in the States $1,000 to help out with what's going on, with the virus here. Whether it be, to help you with groceries or help you with gas or electricity bills and stuff like that. Because a lot of people are getting their jobs cut. A lot of people are losing their jobs for the next few weeks, months, who knows how long. It's I think it's a good idea. It's gonna tack on a lot to the national debt. But you know what? If we let this get out of control, we may not have any more government. We may not have any more national debt to worry about. We might just all be, who knows what, dying of this virus. I don't want that to become that. So definitely have to get control on it. And hold on a second. Let's see what we got here. So I think, and of course, like I said, all sporting events and whatnot. UFC, of course, postponing its next 3 events. A lot going on, folks, out there. And I'm sure these numbers, I guarantee you these numbers are going to jump, and they're going to change, and they're going to be, I believe, much more worse than what we're seeing on this map right here. Over the next, I give it by Friday, it's going to get a lot worse. The proper steps are being taken care of right now. San Francisco is shutting down their, and that's the other story I forgot to bring up there. San Francisco now has put about 7 million people, right? The counties around the area, 7 million people are told to shelter in place, right? Shelter where you're at. Shelter in your house. So what are these people going to do? Go into jobs. And this is an order. This is not, okay, guys, I think maybe you guys should stay home, not go to work. Don't go to the store. This is an order. So here's the article I'm going to read real quick. Residents in 6 San Francisco Bay Area counties will be confined to their homes for the next 3 weeks under a new shelter-in-place order aimed at curbing the spread of the coronavirus. This mandate, which goes into effect Tuesday and will affect nearly 7 million people, orders residents to avoid unnecessary travel and only leave their homes for food, medicine, and exercise. Okay, according to county officials who made the announcement. It affects a bunch of different counties here. I know it's a total I know today's order is a radical step. It has to be. But we need to act now, and all of us, to protect the public health, said Dr. Grant Colfax, director of the San Francisco Department of Health. We must move aggressively and immediately, said San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo, whose city is the epicenter of the Bay Area outbreak. History will not forgive us for waiting an hour more. Anyway, it's going to be interesting to see how they implement and mandate this, how they're going to control it, right? Say, if, it's an order, but are people going to follow it? They could just say, yeah, I'm going to the gym, and they're really not. They're just cruising around with their homies or whatever. It's going to be interesting, folks. So I will probably do a couple more updates on this. It seems to be a pretty hot topic out there right now in the world, right? I guess we're kind of all wondering what's going to happen. The stock markets are looking crazy. I might even include tomorrow a little bit more information on that. I'll try to do daily updates on this, including with the earthquake updates that I do. So anyway, folks, I'm going to jump off here. A little bit of information on coronavirus there. We'll go ahead and get back to the earthquake 3D stream here, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more updated information.